the last many years, derivatives have become increasingly important in finance. Whether you love derivatives or hate them, you cannot ignore them because derivative market is huge, even much bigger than the stock market if measured in terms of underlying asset in various countries. There are various important derivatives that are either traded on stock exchanges or they are negotiated among the parties, which is called to be traded on over the counter market. So in this series of concept पढ़ाएंगे सबको सिखाएंगे, we will understand the one of the most important derivatives that are options, which are mainly traded on stock exchanges. So let's proceed. Hello everyone, welcome to iExamB. So in this session we will be learning about options. So first we will understand what are these derivatives. So derivatives, the word also contains the word derive. So that means they are derived from the value of some other underlying asset. So a derivative can be defined as a financial instrument whose value depends on or derives from the value of underlying, that is more basic underlying variables. And very often the variables underlying derivatives are the prices of traded assets. And stock option, for example, is a derivative whose value is dependent on the price of a stock. However, derivative can be dependent on almost any kind of underlying variable. It depends. So derivative market is very huge and there are various kinds of derivatives that are involved. But some very important derivatives are traded in various different markets, as I had explained. So there are two types of main markets for trading of these derivatives. First is exchange traded, that is these derivatives are traded on the respective stock exchanges of a country. So mainly futures and options, F&O market, that's why it is called. Futures and options are traded on the respective stock exchanges, and these are standardized contracts where terms and conditions for these agreements or the contracts is decided by the exchanges. On the other hand, over the counter market, there is a negotiation among the parties. Participants are free to negotiate the terms and conditions of the agreement or a contract among themselves. So it is not regulated by the stock exchanges, and this market is also quite large market, and various kinds of derivatives like forwards, swaps, and other kind of even options are also done on over the counter market, and mainly banks, financial institutions, fund managers, corporate treasuries, they deal in such kind of markets wherein they enter into the respective contracts and negotiate among themselves. So there are several advantages also for these over the counter market, but also disadvantages also, because herein it is not guaranteed by the stock exchanges and there is always some kind of risk involved, mainly the credit risk, the risk of default by one party, and it can cause a loss to the other party. So in this session we will be discussing about the options which are mainly traded on the stock exchanges. So options as the name suggests is a contract that in exchange for the option prices gives the option buyer the right but not the obligation to buy an asset at the exercise price from the option seller within a specified time period. So as a contract is between the two parties, here also two parties, one is a buyer and other is a seller. So buyer is the owner of the contract, he is the, in this case, the call option. There are actually two types of option, call option and put option. Right, so in this case, in case of option contract, buyer and seller will have a contract to, buyer will make a contract to buy any underlying asset. Underlying asset we can say any kind of share, and then this price is also decided among the parties, which is called the exercise price or the strike price, and this price is decided at the inception of the contract. and this is a contract between two parties where the buyer is actually making a promise that it will buy the underlying asset, that it will exercise the right, but it is not under any obligation to buy the underlying asset at this strike price and after the expiry of the contract, because this contract is also for a specified time period. Let's say this contract is for 1 month, 2 month, or any 3 month, this kind of period. So after that period expires, the buyer will buy the underlying asset, that is a share, at a stipulated or a specified price in the contract, that is an exercise price or a strike price. So call option gives the option to the option holder right to buy, but not an obligation. We will understand what is that. And put option gives the option holder right to sell an underlying asset. So there are various terms attached with the options, which is called exercise price, that is also called the strike price, which is decided among the parties at the beginning of the contract. There is an expiration date, there is a maturity date also when the contract will come to an end, and there is a market price. This is also very significant, as significant as the strike price. Market price is also called the spot price, and this is the price on the expiry period of the contract. So option payoff. So how this option payoff is calculated? Let's say there is a call option which is bought by an option holder, and wherein the exercise price is decided among the parties as 250 rupees. That underlying share will be bought by party A from party B at an exercise price of 250 after an expiry of 3 months, right? So in this case, this person has bought a call option, that is right to buy. So after 3 months, that is on the expiry date, if the market price or the spot price at the date is let's say it is 260, then it gives a benefit to the party A to buy the underlying share at 250, which is specified among them, so that this A can make a profit. That if he can buy at 250, he can sell it in the market at 260 and earn a profit of 10 rupees per share. So this way, this gives this person a right to exercise the option. But on the other hand, if on the date of expiry the market price or the spot price goes down to 240 rupees, then it does not give any benefit to A to buy it at 250, and because market price is already showing the decline, that is 240 rupees. But then in this case, this person is not under obligation to exercise this option. That's why he has a right when the price increases, because it's a call option holder, but he does not have any obligation when the price goes down. So that way it defines an option contract. So in this case, option will expire worthless, and this option will not be exercised. But whatever the contract is taking place between A and B, it is not for free. If the person is entering into an option contract, then option buyer will make a contract and will make a promise to pay any premium or a fee to the seller, any premium or that is an option premium, it is called. So let's say in this case, A has made a promise or has entered into a contract to buy the underlying asset and has promised to pay 5 per share as a option premium. So when the ultimate profit will be calculated, this will also be taken into account, because if the price rises to 260 and if he has purchased at 250, then profit will not be 10, it will be minus 5 also, because that is a cost for it. So the profit in this case will be 5. Payoff will be 10. So payoff in the case of call option is maximum of market price minus exercise price or 0. So when market price goes up, then only the option will be exercised, right? So in this case, payoff will be 260 minus 250 as per this example. Or when the market price goes down, there will not be any payoff and the option will expire worthless. Similarly, in case of put option, it is a right to sell. So in this case, the option holder is expecting the prices to go down. So payoff in that case would be strike price minus the market price, or otherwise if the market price goes up, then the option will expire worthless, then it will be 0. So if we have to calculate the profit, then we will also deduct the option premium that is paid by the option holder in order to calculate the actual profit. This is the payoff. So that is an option contract. So option on the basis of exercisability. What is that exercisability? The option can be exercised, as we have told, that after the expiry of a period. So whether the option can be exercised only at the expiry, or it can be exercised even before the expiry of the stipulated period. So according to that, options are categorized, that are American options and European options, but this distinction has nothing to do with the geographical locations. American options can be exercised anytime, even before maturity period, or it can be exercised before the expiry of the contract period, but European option can be exercised only at the expiry of the contract period. So that is the distinction. So there are various kinds of European and American options which are available to the parties involved on the respective stock exchanges. Concept of moneyness in the option contract. What is the concept of moneyness? So we will talk about the moneyness when the option is in the money, or the option can be at the money, or option can be out of the money. So two significant variables are important in such a case to decide about the same. One is the market price of the underlying asset, that is also called the spot price. Market price at the date of the expiry of the contract, that would be considered. And other is the exercise price or the strike price. So call option, that is a right to buy, will be in the money when the market price or the spot price is greater than the exercise price. Then only it will give a benefit to the option holder to exercise this option, because in that case that person will be able to earn the profits. But put option on the other hand is a right to sell. So option holder is expecting the prices to go down. So put option is said to be in the money when spot price or market price is lesser than the exercise price. But on the other hand, if it is not, then option will be out of the money. Similarly, at the money will be when the spot price or exercise price are both equal, that is market price at the date of expiry and the exercise price both are equal. The option is said to be at the money, both for call options and put option. So one more thing is call position, that is a right to buy. The person who is in this position, who is actually buying this call option, he is said to be in the long position. On the other hand, when the option holder has a right to sell, then that person is said to be in the short position. This is also an additional information. So out of the money option, when the market price or the spot price is lesser than the exercise price, then the option will expire worthless and it will not be exercised in case of call option. On the other hand, put option, when the spot price is greater than the exercise price, then option holder will not benefit from it and it will expire worthless. So this was all about options, basics of options. It's a very complex topic, that is derivatives. There are a lot of other things that are involved, but this basic understanding is important in case of the types of derivatives. So this is it for this session. We can come up with various other topics related to it, like option Greeks and other terms and other things related to it in our next sessions. So all the best for your preparations. Thank you. Prepare 50% faster with iExamB. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. You can contact us on any of the details shown on the screen if you have any information, if you want any information for any of the courses provided by us. So thank you once again.